I will not have it. These women think I will jump at any opportunity to get them on side simply because of a pending investigation. Well, it is just not on.
Heck, that's right. She's being transferred to Fairley right now. Isn't that nice?
Your function is to assist me in the administration of this prison, and that means sticking by the rules I make. Do you understand me?
Bloody hell.
Stop that! Stop that at once!
And let me tell you, once I'm governor of this prison, things are going to be run very, very differently.
It could almost lead one into going bail for a known criminal and putting a substantial amount of money at risk. Miss Bennett?
Hello then and welcome to the video. My name's SerenitySoloREACTS and here we are with Prisoner Cell Block H episode 39. I was very unsure. I started this intro and had to stop it because I had no idea. I do have to apologise for the bleeps in the last episode. I did look up the word that I was speaking about. I weren't sure if it was a slur. When I looked it up it says it's an offensive slur and I can't really... I don't want my channel taken down for that, so I've kept it bleeped, I'm afraid. It won't be bleeped on Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee, but it is bleeped. I'm going to guess, since Moni is this kind of person, I did used to like her, I don't like her at all now. She is going to keep using this word over the next few episodes. It's only a guess, but I'm going to guess she is. So, hopefully not too often, so there's not too much bleeps. But we never know, do we? Nolene's out. She'll be coming back in. She won't be able to stay out. I mean, they fetched her in. They wouldn't have just killed her brother off and then let her go. I mean, she went without a goodbye or anything. Just, oh, she's been released this morning. Thank you, prisoner, for letting us know. She will be back in. I'm sure she will. Lynn must be getting out soon. Karen, I would say, within the next 30 episodes. And Moni, she didn't have long left either, so she'll be out, what, within the next 10 or 20? I hope she doesn't come back with her racist ways, I honestly do. But if you've subscribed to me or followed so far, thank you ever so much, I really do appreciate it. It's helping me out, it's helping the channel out, it's helping my mental health out. And to my Patreon members who do get exclusive shows, which will be in a box here, either, no, it should be 8 per month right now, and going up to 12 per month later this year. And also ad-free and uncensored early access to all my YouTube and Dailymotion shows as well. So they won't be bleeped, they won't be blurred, they're completely uncensored there, apart from the very early episodes. It is you that is bringing the content to me that allows me to bring the content straight back to you. Thank you all ever so much, I love you lots no matter what tier you are. So with that, let's get on with the episode.
I lay yesterday's debacle wholly and solely at your door.
You know why she ran
Oh wow,
away?
that was it.
She ran
Thank
to
you.
hide her head in shame because her husband's sister is a putana.
I don't know if that's an offensive
I know
word
what
though.
I'm doing. I was Queen Bee around here for years, and I'll be Queen Bee again. I have no intention of giving up that title to a gutless contender like Claire O'Gara.
Aha, we haven't retired.
Oh, retired be damned.
When he heard what happened, he broke off the engagement. I'm afraid she no longer has a fiancé.
Oh, poor girl.
Also, she came here to get married. And if she doesn't get married, she'll be deported.
See, at least they did clips there. They fetched the clips back. I'm going to be complaining they're getting 10 episodes, there's no clips. I prefer the clips to just the last scene, or one of the scenes they chose.
What do you think you're doing?
But Mrs. Davidson, it's buy-up day.
Put all that stuff away. There will be no privileges for prisoners until further notice.
It's still harsh.
Right. Everything ready for the buy-up?
Mrs. Jackson, you are aware that I have cancelled all privileges. That includes the buy-up.
Yes, but they're so used to it.
When I say all privileges, I mean all privileges.
It's their
Well, what are
money.
you waiting for? Mrs. Jackson, I'd like a word with you.
That's like saying you're on benefits but you can't go to the shop.
I understand Mr. Wilson was in this morning.
Yes.
You knew why he was here?
Yes, I did.
And you admitted him?
That's right.
Knowing he has already had one visit with Travers this week.
Look, he's here trying to help Irene Zervos. And Karen's the only one in the prison with even a smattering of Greek.
Nevertheless, you have contravened the rule of allowing one visitor per
He
prisoner
wasn't
per
visiting
week.
her.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Davidson, but he was really seeing Irene Zervos, not Karen. And I do believe Irene needs the help.
Your function is to assist me in the administration of this prison, and that means sticking by the rules I make. Do you understand me?
Bloody hell.
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
This is a big change in personality for her. And the person who did it out.
Isn't she? I suggest we put all this stuff away.
That's lovely, Auntie.
Still can't believe Clara's top dog.
She's got everybody thinking she's kingpin. Oh, let her. Let the brainless tarts follow her. They'll see it my way when I'm ready. I wouldn't hang by me thumbs, love. Oh, hello. Anybody here smell olive oil? Oh, nothing personal, love. I just must be feeling a bit off. Must be coming down with a wog.
If you weren't so contemptible, you'd be totally pathetic. How would you like it if you were faced with the possibility of being deported?
Ah, good riddance.
You don't understand. Irene came
Don't
out here to
say
get
it.
married. Now it looks as if she's going to be sent back.
Serve her right. If she's stupid enough to go on the game and get caught, she's got to take what's coming to her. Why'd the stupid cow do it anyway?
I don't know. I haven't been able to get through to her well enough to find out.
If ever you do, just tell her to keep out of my way. I've had enough of her kind outside.
You know, when you run a shop, you expect
supposed to have some
competitors.
I hope so.
Well, then get Monica off Irene's back, will you?
That's a good idea, Tinkerbell. Why don't you sort money out? Show her who's boss around here. Have you done your timesheets?
Yes, did them this morning.
Well, efficiency seems to be contagious, doesn't it?
Sorry?
Well, even our worthy governor seems to be getting her act together.
I think she's overdoing it, overreacting.
Oh, I don't care what she's reacting to. It's about time this place was run as a prison and not a holiday camp.
So out of character for her, though.
What, doing a job properly, you mean?
I agree with that.
Reception. Yes, Mrs. Davidson. Excuse me, Miss Bennett. The governor would like to see you and the duty staff in her office straight away, please.
Well, here we go. More of the get tough policy.
Thank you for coming so promptly.
Let's have
I
a
have
smile.
some news for you, which may slightly disrupt the running of the prison for the next few days.
Why? What's wrong, Mrs. Davidson?
Well, I don't know that anything is wrong, really. In a way, I suppose it was to be expected. I have been notified that the department is appointing a visiting justice to investigate the running of the prison.
Oh.
Because of the barbecue?
The letter merely refers to various incidents.
After all, the list's as long as your arm.
I'm sure some of you know Mr. Goodwin, the stipendiary magistrate. He has been appointed the visiting justice.
He seems a fairly reasonable sort of a chap.
Yes.
Is that the one who was on
Of course,
holiday
he will
last
want
time?
to question all the officers. I hope we are all agreed in our attitudes when the time comes to speak to Mr. Goodwin. I wouldn't want to confuse any of the issues he may have under investigation.
David's going
We
to
will also
undermine
have to
you.
advise the prisoners that the visiting justice is coming and tell them of their rights.
They don't deserve any.
Whether you like it or not, Miss Bennett, they have rights. And I suggest we tell the prisoners they can appeal to the justice about any part of prison procedure.
They'll
and
all be
about
there.
any disciplinary action which they consider excessive.
Apart from Irene, or whatever her name
That
is.
is all, ladies.
Irene.
Thank you.
I suppose this may mean a few changes, Mrs. Davidson?
Lizzie, they're complaining there's no booze, they're not allowed it.
Poor Erica. Having this investigation right on top of that barbecue mess.
Couldn't be better timed, in my opinion.
Oh, come on, Vera. You can see what a position it puts her in.
What about yourself?
Me?
There are certain advantages in being deputy governor, you know.
What are you talking about?
Well, if I were to be governor, you'd be the most logical choice to
Oh.
be deputy governor.
I'm thinking Vera's
I
deputy.
don't want promotion if it means having to sacrifice Erica.
Don't worry, Meg. You won't have to do a thing. And let me tell you, once I'm governor of this prison, things are going to be run very, very differently.
She's got ideas above the station. She's kind of jumping the gun there a bit, isn't she? Erica's not sacked yet.
Oh, boy, can you smell that?
I certainly can.
It's cabbage.
Yeah.
I love boiled cabbage.
I think it's revolting.
Maybe I just got used to it. Or maybe I got a tapeworm. Yeah, that could be it. I could have a tapeworm.
The tapeworms like cabbages.
Tapeworms are choosy.
Oh, don't be disgusting.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Goddard. I forgot we don't talk about tapeworms here in track, do we? Oh, here comes a little grease spot again. Listen, there's none of you minced up goats in vine leaves here, love. None of that crap today.
There we go.
You keep out of this. Maybe you'd be more at home in a fish and chip shop. Here, or maybe the Olympia Cafe. That's it, Olympia. You know that word, eh? Olympia. Oh, don't give me any of that crap. That's quite enough.
I cannot put that word in, Bonnie.
Move along.
At least she had a back to us. There's no rubby duckies or anything.
Not you, Ferguson. I
Could
want
get
to
a
deal
mouth.
with you. What do you want? I suppose you think you're very smart. Look, if I was that smart, I wouldn't be here. Play your cards right, and you could get out earlier than you expected.
Oh.
Why? You've still got 1 month of your sentence to serve. But the parole board meets next week, and there's a good chance you'll get a 3 weeks remission. What's the catch? Just start treating that Greek girl like a human being and not like an animal. Oh, look, she doesn't understand a word I'm saying anyway. All right, if you think it's worth 3 weeks of your time in here to insult her, just keep it up.
I think Meg saved us.
The parole board meets next week.
Thank you, Meg.
You're not such a bad screw after all. I'm just suggesting you make it easier on yourself.
See the smile he puts on my face?
Yeah. Well, look, I'm sorry you got hurt the other day. It was an accident. I'm all right. But you're apologising to the wrong person.
I'm happy now. I thought we were going to get the bleeps on the next few episodes. This might be the last one.
It's not fair the way Monty's been treating her.
Yeah, why don't you do something about it, Clara?
Oh, wake up to yourselves. Tinkerbell's gutless, aren't you, love?
Just wasn't the right time.
Yeah, never will be.
What about right now?
Oh, I don't think lunchtime's the appropriate time.
Is she going to have a word with her?
Footwork. Watch her footwork.
And they're going to think
You're not frightened of me,
she did
are you,
something.
Clara?
Oh, of course not. It's just as I said, it's a matter of timing. Very well, then.
Very well what?
I will talk to her.
Oh, this I gotta
eat
see.
cabbage.
Go on, Clara.
Would you hit someone twice in age? Probably would, but in that respect.
Monica, I have something to say to you.
Yeah?
It's about the way you treat Irene.
Yeah?
I think you're being most unfair to her. She's a stranger in our midst, and she doesn't speak the language. And I think you're being too hard on her.
Oh, you do you?
Yes, I do.
Well, maybe you're right. Sorry about that, kid.
That's going to surprise
Cabbage,
me.
eh? Can't be all that bad.
You were terrific, just terrific. It's nothing. It's just a matter of being reasonable, that's all. Geez, I would never have been that game.
Είναι αδερφή σου, πρέπει να την βοηθήσουμε.
Δεν μπορούμε να κάνουμε τίποτα χωρίς να παραδοθούμε στο immigration.
Subtitles, please.
It's completely against
Immigration.
regulations for you to be in on this visit.
The governor authorised it.
Yes, well, that's something I'll be taking up with her and with the VJ.
Why not? They speak Greek. Or Mandy the Catholic.
Stop that at once.
Θα σε βοηθήσουμε, αδερφή μου.
Speak in English.
For God's sake, Vera, she only understands about a dozen words of English.
I don't care. It's regulations. Either you speak in English or this visit ends before it begins.
What have we done?
The officer says you have to speak in English or go home.
Why is this?
Because of the rules.
All rules are no hard.
If you don't like the rules, you can go.
You know, there was a woman like this woman in our village.
So?
A few years later, the other woman of the village threw stones at her and she ran away.
Well, I'm not going anywhere.
Go on, throw stones at her. I'd love to see Vera stoned.
Why?
Both ways.
Oh, Nikos.
No Greek.
It's a man's name,
Say,
Nikos.
Nikos.
Who is it, this Nikos?
He's a friend of Stavros, the man she used to marry.
What's he got to do with it?
I don't know now. Nikos is a bad man. He gambles. Why, Nikos?
Nikos say,
Him?
police, you go away.
What's she talking about?
It's a family matter.
We must tell her.
We told your friend, Mr. Wilson. Tessa and I, we come here illegally. No immigration, you understand?
Yes.
David's going to love this.
This Nikos, he help us. First we come here. He gives me work. He knows I'm not a legal immigrant.
Nikos say, I not do. He tell police.
He blackmailed her. Well, why didn't you stand by her?
We didn't know about the blackmail. Today, first time we know.
What are you going to do about it?
Please, we don't want to be deported.
What about Irene?
Irene comes on a visa to marry Stavros. But now, he won't marry her.
Is Stavros legal?
She'll be deported.
That will be bad, to go back home.
Her parents. They will not take her back now. Not after this.
Well,
She was
he must
forced
speak to Stavros. Explain the situation to him. Tell him about the blackmail.
You don't understand. It is not possible he will marry a woman who done what Irene has done.
But she did it to help you.
True, but Stavros, he won't accept this. This is not the way of our country.
Yes, but this is a new country with new ways. Surely he'll help her. Oh, for God's sake, you can't just dump her. She's your sister.
What do we do?
You must go to Mr. Wilson, Mr. Steve Wilson. I'll give you his address. You must tell him the whole story. He'll let you know which authorities you must see.
No. We do not want to talk to any authorities.
You have to do it for Irene's sake.
But they'll send us away.
No, Alekos, he is right. We have been here a long time now. We work hard.
It doesn't matter.
We no make trouble.
In the eyes of the law.
We never belong to this country. This is our chance to see this Mr. Wilson, a lawyer. He will fix it for us to stay here like honest people.
Is it that easy?
So?
I hope so, yes.
Aleko, you must do this for me. For Irene, you must do it.
You do not do the telling. I'll do the telling here. And I say, yes, we must do it.
Oh, thank you.
What? Please, what is?
Your brother Alex will go to a lawyer who can help you.
Θα πάμε σε ένα φίλο μας δικηγόρο. Θα του εξηγήσουμε την κατάσταση και θα γίνουμε Αυστραλοί υπήκοοι. Θα τα κανονίσω μόνο, μην σκέφτεσαι τίποτα. Ναι, θα τα κανονίσουμε.
I heard deport her, so that means deport. They won't deport you. We're getting good at this.
You know what I reckon this kid's problem is? He hasn't got any mum or dad.
He has, but they've chucked him out.
Well, that'd be just as bad, wouldn't it, Clara?
Yes, dear, most unfeeling.
Would you happen to know her phone? Would you like a cup of tea?
Yes, Doreen, I would, thanks.
The telly doesn't.
You
Said
heard
no.
what the lady said. Get her a cup of tea.
Go check with the apartment manager, maybe he knows enough.
So if Clara can become top dog, that means anyone can unless...
Hey, I've got 3 jacks.
Oh, hell, there goes the sheep station. Hey, Monty. I reckon it was Mrs. Jackson and not Tinkerbell that ticked you off about Irene. What do you say to that? Well, so mind your own business. I make my own decisions, nobody else. Oh, yeah, and that flapping sound, I can hear a pig's flying by.
Turn that television off and pay attention.
Yeah, no
The governor has
privileges.
something
Why are
to
they watching
say.
telly?
As you may already know, the prison will be under investigation by a visiting justice on behalf of the prisons department. I want to be sure you are all aware you have the right to approach the justice, either with or without legal assistance.
What?
If you have any questions, I am sure Miss Bennett or Mrs. Jackson will be able to answer them. That is all, ladies. Good evening.
Good night. Maybe I can complain about having my work release cancelled.
Thank you.
That's
Well,
a
I'm
valid
certainly going to
reason.
complain about the conditions in this prison.
Do you think we could get rid of Vera?
Looks like you'll be cashing your super in early.
I wouldn't count on it, Smith.
I reckon the girl has got enough complaints to choke a horse.
Including riotous behaviour on your part. No, I think the justice will see things from the viewpoint of authority. In fact, if anyone leaves here because of slack regard for regulations and lack of proper discipline, I can assure you it won't be me.
She did kill Anne Yates, though. Is that going to come out somehow?
Yes. Yes, Meg, what is it?
It's about Lynn Warner and Karen Travers. I was wondering if it wouldn't be advisable to allow them to go back on day release again.
How do you mean, advisable?
Well, there's no doubt that withdrawing that privilege has caused a lot of ill feeling amongst the women. And I was thinking that with this investigation coming up, it'd be for the best if we removed the cause of the problem.
I will not have it. These women think I will jump at any opportunity to get them on side simply because of a pending investigation. Well, it is just not on.
I'm terribly sorry, but actually it wasn't the prisoners asking, it was me. I honestly feel it would be for the good of all if we gave them another opportunity.
I'm sorry, Meg. I'm jumping at shadows at the moment.
I don't think you've got a thing to worry about.
I wish I had your confidence. There were so many things I wanted to do with the prison. So many things that have to be done. Let me think about it. I promise you I'll have a decision for you first thing in the morning.
Sure.
See, you can't run a prison on ideology. Not really. Not unless you want to get walked all over.
Ugh. Oatmeal, they call it. More like flaming clag.
Well, we'd better get used to it. You're going to be eating it for quite a while.
I might have to eat the stuff, but I don't have to like it. Okay, bit of a bit, love. Here comes Monty.
Okay, plenty of room.
Oh, aren't we all sweetness and light today?
It's Be Kind to Animals Week. Well, what's up with you, love? You look like the cat burped.
Oh, it's my job. I know Sid's not going to keep it for me unless I get back on work release.
Don't look at me, love. I can't work miracles.
Here, why don't you ask Lady Clara? I mean, it's only a matter of squaring it away with the governor. Do it on your ear, couldn't you, Clara?
I bet she could too.
It's going to be another one of those where Serenity made her mind up.
Do you think you could, Clara? I mean, change the governor's mind?
One can but try. After all, she's a very reasonable woman most of the time.
Oh, decent of you.
Excuse me, I must see the governor at once.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. It's very important. In fact, it's imperative that I see her now.
All right, go on.
Davidson will do her like a dinner.
I think you said you had to put in your request in the morning.
You sent for me?
Yes, Meg. I've been thinking about what you said last night about Travers and Warner.
Oh, good.
You're probably right. They wouldn't have had anything to do with the smashing of the television set, and it may be tough on them. In fact, by keeping them locked up in here, I'm going against all the principles I say I hold. Doesn't make sense, really. They can both go back on the day release, effective immediately.
Great. I'll get word to them straight away.
I'm loving Clara as top dog. I honestly am.
Come in.
One of the prisoners wants a word with you, Mrs. Davidson.
Which one?
Goddard.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, it's about Karen and Lynn. I think it's entirely unfair that they should be denied the benefits of the day release scheme.
Is that a fact?
In fact, Lynn is very upset. She thinks the nurseryman may well cancel her employment.
Oh, that would never do, would it?
So I have come to plead her case.
That won't be necessary. Lynn can go back to work this morning. Karen too, for that matter.
She's damn good.
Well, I'm glad we see eye to eye.
Makes a change, doesn't it?
You can go.
Do you really think Clara can do it?
Of course I do. Then after lunch, she's parting the Red Sea and walking on the fish pond. Wake up.
I'm going to miss you if you go out again. I'll have to do the garden on my own.
Don't worry, Doreen. The governor's not going to listen to Clara. Hey, Monty.
Oh, who knows? Who cares? Warner, you'll be late.
Late?
You'll miss the bus to work. Get cracking.
You mean it's all right?
Really?
I mean, you're on day release. And you'll be late for work if you don't get going.
Terrific. Good on you, Liz. See you.
Sonny just told her.
What sea
I mean,
was
like-
that, Bee?
Do you want a thick ear, Doreen? Well, I don't know how she does it.
I didn't think she had a hope in hell either.
About Karen?
Travers?
Yeah.
Do you have any lectures scheduled for today?
This afternoon, Anthrop 1.
Oh, fine. Then there's not as much of a hurry for you to get away.
You mean it's all right? I can go too.
That's right.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, I'm damned if I know how she did it, but it's all right by me.
Oh, for she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow.
Thank you, Clara. How'd you do it?
I just reasoned with her.
Thank you so much. I have to go, Yasu.
See, she's not like Helen, the posh lady. She's not lying to get away through. She actually thinks she's doing this.
I suppose it's real good you getting to go out and all.
Oh, I can't tell you how good.
Yeah. I really like working in the garden with you, though.
Oh, I liked it too.
Did you? Did you really?
Really?
I'm going to miss you, though. I'll be lonely on my own.
I'll miss you too. Tell you what, why don't I bring you back something from the nursery, a little pot plant or something?
Oh, Screws would take it.
Well, we could try.
Yeah, a present. I used to bring Frankie presents sometimes.
Well, I'll see what I can do. Listen, Doreen, I've got to fly. I'll miss my bus.
Oh, okay.
Just 1 minute, Warner.
You know, she's missing it on dailies.
Or maybe a nice little day at the races?
She's getting out
What the hell
fairly
are you
soon.
carting those things around with you for?
I'm going to work.
Oh, really?
Mrs. Davidson says she can.
Was I talking to you, Anderson?
Mrs. Davidson said I can go back on work release.
And Karen, too.
Did she indeed?
I'll miss my bus, Miss Bennett.
Well, we couldn't have that, could we? All right.
Clara talked to the governor, got it all sorted out.
Not sorted out as it's going to be.
You do understand.
She's going to
yes,
complain
Mrs.
to the
Davidson,
VJ.
And when Mr. Goodwin arrives, he's to be shown directly to my office.
Yes, Mrs. Davidson. Goodbye, Mrs. Davidson.
Thank you.
And thanks. I'll see you tonight.
You'd better.
Please?
You've had one visit.
I come to see Irini Zervos.
Me too.
I'll have to fetch an officer.
There's one.
That won't be necessary. You two were here yesterday, weren't you?
That's right.
Well, you're only allowed one visit per prisoner per week. Come back next week.
Next week? But we have good news.
Too bad.
You understand? This will make Irini very happy.
I couldn't care less whether she's happy or not. You can't see her today. Come back next week.
Just a moment.
Mrs. Davidson.
Let them see her, Annie. After all, she could do with some good news.
But they've had their visit and they broke regulations doing it.
There must be more to life than regulation.
They spoke in Greek.
And that's the end of the world? Their visit is at my discretion. And I'm telling you, they can see Irene. Do I need to be more explicit?
Last time they were here, they spoke in Greek. That's completely against the regulations. And don't think I won't mention that at the appropriate time.
Oh, I'm sure you will, Miss Bennett. In the meantime, they can have their visit. I suggest you take them out into the garden. I'm sure they'll find it much more pleasant out there. Miss Bennett will arrange for you to see Irene now.
Couldn't you have
It
Meg
is all right.
watching them?
You say this? You are the boss?
Yes, I am.
Good news, very good news.
Why? What's happened?
We saw your man, Mr. Wilson. Nice man.
Yes, he is.
He told us we can stay here, safe here.
Oh, that's wonderful, but why?
More than 5 years we'll be living in this country. No one told us to leave, so we cannot be told now.
Is that a thing? Was that a thing?
True, more than 5 years, we can ask to become natural people.
Naturalized?
So it's what I say. Really?
What does this mean for Irene?
But she can stay here to Australia now. She
Is
can
it?
live with us.
I hope you're right.
Did they not ask Steve that? That's quite important.
Mr. Goodwin, how nice to see you again.
I wish I could say the same, Mrs. Davidson.
Oh, no, it's the same
That
guy.
sounds ominous.
It seems we have quite a few problems to resolve.
No more than any other prison, I hope.
Item, 1 suicide. Item, 1 death. Item, 2 escapes. Need I go on?
Yeah.
I hope not.
Please.
And quite apart from that, the department is concerned about stories to do with the distilling of illicit alcohol.
How did they find out about that,
smuggled
Taylor?
drugs. And about one of your officers having a social involvement with a criminal.
Oh.
Quite an impressive list of charges.
It isn't my duty to lay charges, Mrs. Davidson. I'm here merely to inquire into the state of the prison administration. I'm sure any further action that need be taken will be taken by the department.
Without my even answering any of the matters you've brought up?
I'm quite sure that they'll all be adequately covered. Now, I need to go through the files of all current prisoners, Then I will hear any prisoners' complaints, then interview the officers.
My God, that's going to take a while.
This procedure might take 3 days. At the end of that, one hopes that the air will be cleared.
It takes 2 to go for the files. Then they must have like 100 prisoners there over all the wings.
What are you doing?
Weeding.
I see. What have you got against petunias?
Huh?
Those plants over there, they're petunias.
Oh, no. Lynn will kill me.
I don't think so.
You'll tell her it's a mistake, won't you?
If you promise not to attack any more plants.
Okay, yeah. You're kidding me, aren't you?
Something like that.
I'm not sure sometimes. Do you think I'm dumb?
No, I don't think so. Disadvantaged.
Ah, it's all right then.
Is that another word for it?
Why don't you ask Lynn to come and help you here?
Oh, no, because she hasn't got much time. Not now she's back on work release.
Well, why don't you ask them to put you back in the laundry?
Oh, no, because being Lizzie and all them, well, I think I'm stupid. And anyway, this is where we worked, Lynn and me.
Yes, but you're not doing it very well, are you? And you're not very good at it. Not really.
Yeah, but it's our place, mine and Lynn's. And I don't want to go back into the laundry.
All right, dear, all right. You don't have to go back, not if you don't want to.
I saw bullying him about 15 episodes ago.
Tell him I've been grisly, will you?
Sometimes it helps to have a good cry. Oh, darling, what is it? What's the matter? Tell me.
You're just like me, Mum. She always knew when something was wrong.
Do you want to tell me about it?
I was just a kid. But I always remember how warm she was, you know. She was always warm. And she always smelled so good. You know, like lavender or something.
That's nice, isn't it? Do you want to tell me about your dad?
He was a bit of a
I
drongo.
said, you really want to talk about him?
He was always betting on the horses, and he always used to belt us up when the favourites lost. Me mum ran off. Not that I blame her. I just remember the screaming. And then one morning, I woke up and she wasn't there. You know, she was gone.
This prisoner got out.
Yes,
According to a file, she's on remand.
that's right. It's an embezzlement matter, taking forever to work out.
In the meantime, she's in the company of hardened criminals without even being convicted.
I couldn't agree with you more. She should be held in a remand section, but we don't have one.
Then why do you accept remand prisoners?
Because the courts keep sending them here. Mr. Goodwin, this is a limited facility. We simply don't have the room for a remand section.
Well, there is at Fairley. And I know there's space available.
I would be delighted if you could have her properly accommodated.
I assure you I can. Could you arrange to have her transferred today?
Oh, bloody hell.
Good. At least that's one problem we can solve on the day, huh?
Her mum and dad were real good people, you know.
Doreen,
her dad had a
Well,
grocery
Thomas
shop,
for Clara
and
being
we
top
used to
dog.
get toffee. You know, the kind that lasted forever. Can't get toffee like that anymore.
Doreen, you must stop living in the past. You're very young. You have a future. You have to plan ahead.
Of all the people that
Well,
could
I can't
bloody...
plan past bedtime. What bloody hope
Sounds
have
fair.
I got?
Goddard? Yes, Miss Bennett?
I don't know what you think you're doing outside, but you can get right back to the building.
I was just taking a walk.
I said inside. I'll see you in your cell.
Hold on, is she
I'll
not...
be a witness.
What are you bleating about?
Well, if there's any marks on Claire, I'll say you did her over in the cells.
What a nasty little mind you've got.
Well, you're going to hurt her, aren't you?
Completely wrong. I'm going to help her pack.
Pack?
That's right. She's being transferred to Fairley right now. Isn't that nice?
One of the nicest prisoner we
to
had.
be regular. I mean, once a week would do.
Oh, wake up to yourself, Lizzie.
But she's got everything she tried to get so far, hasn't she?
And now you think you can get yourself a regular grog ration?
Well, they get it in the Navy.
They have sailors in the Navy, too. Hey, do you reckon she can get one of them in once a week?
But she's always got whatever she wants.
Oh, come on. Next thing you'll be telling me she's getting out of here.
I've come to say goodbye.
Goodbye? You mean they're letting you out of here?
That's right, Lizzie. Well, what's so funny?
Nothing. Where are you going?
Fairley. They're transferring me to Fairley.
Well, now, is that right? I know the head sherang over there among the women. She'll give you a run for your money.
I don't think so, Bea. I'll be in the remand section. It's to keep me away from the hardened criminal element.
Very funny.
How are we going to get along without you here?
Oh, it's...
Ask Bea, right?
Too bloody right. Come on, Goddard. Wagon's out the front.
I just heard...
What are you doing here?
Well, Claire is leaving.
That's none of your business.
But I just come to say goodbye.
You're supposed to be working in the garden. Now get out there.
I just could...
Get out!
That makes you feel 10 feet tall, Miss Bennett. Come on, Goddard.
Of all the people who could go, poor Doreen. Not poor Bea, she's got a position back.
Oh, cut it out, you two. It's hers. Ugh.
Back to the old days.
Give him a couple of days to realise the Queen Bee's back on top. Just a couple of days.
You're all heart.
Yeah, well, it's me basic good nature. What are you reading?
Oh, anthropology.
I'm sorry I asked.
Baths.
Eh?
That's what I'm going to complain about. Baths. I reckon we should all have separate cells with little dunnies and baths off.
Nearly ensuite cells.
Get a bit of privacy. There's no dignity in sharing.
Half-wit. What's wrong with sharing?
Frankie used to look at my bum all the time. It's not
Really?
nice.
You're right, I have seen better.
Well, I think there's a good case for asking that prisoners like Irene who can't speak English have an interpreter laid on.
Oh, that bitch. She'll get hers one of these days.
What's wrong, love?
Bloody Vera. Lynn brung me home this pot plant and she ripped it out by the bloody roots. I'll give a contra bloody band. It'll die on me for sure now.
Well, there's one for the VJ.
Oh, yeah. I'm sick of this place. They've all got something coming, I reckon.
You know,
What about you, Bea?
it's going to
You
see it
going
as a
up in front of
hate
the
campaign rather than
But I'm not going to
valid.
be doing the complaining. What with that little holiday I took and the mess I had to clean up when I got back here, I reckon they got me over a barrel. I'd rather we talked alone.
I'm sure anything we have to discuss can be discussed in front of the officer.
Yeah, but this is a private matter? Personal, like. Please.
Wait outside. Now, what is this highly secret personal matter?
Well, it's personal to me as well as you.
I'm waiting.
I want to do a deal with you.
Open the door and ask the officer to come back in, thank you, Smith.
Just a minute. Before you go getting the wrong end of the stick, I reckon I can help you.
You? Help me?
Well, it's not so silly. You haven't been down to the rec room lately.
I fail to see what that has to do with anything.
You wouldn't if you'd been there. And what with the VJ coming, I reckon those girls are going to have a million whinges.
They have a right to complain.
Yeah, but you're not going to come out of it looking real good. In fact, listening to them, you're going to come out of it a dead mug.
This sounded more like blackmail.
I run those girls. And if I say there aren't going to be any complaints, well, what I say goes.
I admire your hide, if nothing else. What do you expect to get out of this little exercise?
Well, I got to go up on a charge over that fight with me and Monty.
Yes?
Well, if you was to do the right thing and chuck in a good word for me.
Number one, what you are suggesting slaps of collusion and is simply untenable. Number two, I am not so uncertain of my position here that I have to depend on your assistance in any matter. It was a nice try, Smith. And it's only because I admire your cheek that you're not up on another charge.
She's in for life, though. What's wrong with the charge?
Call the officer to take you back.
Suit yourself. But, well, the way the girls are at the moment, between them and Vera, I reckon Custer had more chance than you. And the Redskins scalped him.
Still sounds like blackmail.
Smith, a report has gone to the department about the brawl. The Justice already knows about it. I can't change that, even if I wanted to.
Right. But, well, I can do 2 days in the hole on me ear. But 10 days and I'd be right round the twist. Know what I mean?
I can't promise you anything.
Well, I wouldn't ask you to do that, Mrs. Davidson.
Mr. Wilson, this is something of a surprise.
That's a bit unusual to see you somewhere other than on the bench, too, sir.
I suppose.
I'm appearing with one of the prisoners at this inquiry.
I don't know what the hell that
fair bit of
noise
legal
is
aid
that
work
keeps
these days,
happening.
I hear.
Yes, fair bit.
Mrs. Davidson, you've met her, I take it?
Several times.
Formed any opinions of her? Professionally, I mean.
Oh, she's a very capable woman.
Oh, come on, Mr. Wilson. I'm not asking officially, just for your impressions.
Say firm but fair.
Well, as I see it, I think she does a job very efficiently and also with a great deal of compassion. I doubt if anyone could do it better.
Well, if that were the case, I wouldn't need to be here. We shall see, Mr. Wilson, we shall see.
Where would you like to start?
Let's see those prisoners with any complaints first, shall we? Then perhaps I could have a word with the officers, one at a time.
Should Erica be in there? While he's interviewing?
Oh, B, it just means that Vera can stomp crap all over us and get away with it.
Yeah, I could change the whole prison system. If you two make any waves at all, your faces will be hidden backwards when you stand to attention.
Selfish motivation, though,
Is that
B.
clear? I said, is that clear?
Yes, B.
Right then.
Let me get this quite clear, Mr. Wilson. Your client wants an interpreter service made available for those prisoners who speak no English.
Yep.
Yes, sir. That's part of it.
What's the other part, young woman?
Well, it's about visits. Shouldn't they be allowed to speak their own language to their families? Particularly girls like Irene that have almost no English at all.
I understand. On the face of it, that seems a reasonable request. But on close examination...
As long as you have an interpreter.
Firstly, there are interpreters provided to cover the state's prison system. But their time is taken up exclusively in the men's prison.
Why?
There's a
Sexist?
much greater call for their services there.
No.
Mrs. Davidson.
Yes.
How many completely non-English speakers have you had go through Wentworth?
One.
Marini's the first one that I can remember.
Precisely, the first one. It would hardly be practical to expand the service on the basis of an isolated case. Now, as far as visits are concerned, these are a privilege, not a right. Besides, there are certain security risks to be considered. I imagine it would be more than a little embarrassing for a prisoner to escape, having planned her escape with her fellows in a foreign tongue under the very nose of a prison officer.
I
But
agree with
surely
that.
that wouldn't happen.
Prisoners do escape, or try to, quite frequently, young woman. No, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I really can't recommend either of your proposals.
The interpreter, maybe not a full-time one, a part-time one. Like on call. I agree with
Anything
the
wrong?
No.
native tongue, foreign tongue language.
Right. University, here we come.
Steve, could I ask a favour of you? I want to go to Stavros's house.
That's against the
Don't
rules.
put me in that position, Karen. You know I can't take you anywhere else but the university.
But Steve, don't you understand? If we could just see Stavros, talk to him, get him to marry Irene. I mean, for God's sake, that was the original intention. He can't have changed his mind that much.
Karen, that just isn't the point. Now, I'm a lawyer. As such, I'm an officer of the court. I can't disobey the law.
But a girl's whole future's at stake, her whole life.
Karen, we're going to the university. All right. Look, I can't not take you to the university. However, I guess there's nothing stopping me taking you via someplace or other. Well, such as this place, for instance. Not really out of our way, just a few kilometers.
Oh, Steve!
Well, all right.
No.
We go to Stavros's place, but then we go to the university.
You're against the rules.
It's about my Clary.
Yes, Mrs. Birdsworth. What about Clary?
The screws that killed him.
That's a very serious accusation.
And I was training him to whistle, too.
Just a moment, Mrs. Birdsworth. Exactly who was Clary?
My cockroach. My trained cockroach. They sprayed all over the place. And he fell right off his perch. Sitting on my head he was, and he went plop straight into me cup of Milo. Poor little fella. Legs stuck out, stiff as a board he was.
Mrs. Davidson, is this woman entirely sane?
Of course I'm sane. You don't think a nong could train a cockroach how to whistle, do you?
Go away, Mrs. Birdsworth. This inquiry is not here for the purpose of providing you with entertainment.
Some of them are going to be like this.
What about compensation?
It's pointless talking to these prisoners. Not one has come up with a serious complaint.
Perhaps because they have nothing to complain about.
Use your loaf, Doreen.
Well, why'd you do it?
Oh, if you'd let it bitched your heads off, you probably would have got the governor the chop.
Wacko the diddle-o!
You thick tart. If Davidson goes, we'll probably end up with Vera as boss cocky.
Oh, jeez, I never thought of that.
What are you looking for, you silly old bag?
A cockroach.
Is it safe to be down
I'm
there?
sure there's a place for Mrs. Davidson's methods.
With her
A
heart?
private boarding school, for instance, but not the prison system.
You have specific examples, of course, Miss Bennett.
I have.
I thought you might.
One, when Lynn Warner went missing from work release, the police were not immediately notified. And again,
It
when,
was before times were
against
back.
my advice, Mrs. Davidson
Go
allowed a
back.
social event to take place in the grounds. Well, there was insufficient security, and this resulted in vandalism and utter chaos.
The barbecue, yes.
Mrs. Davidson allows visits with no proper limits, and for the most ridiculous and sentimental reasons.
Sentiment? You feel that Mrs. Davidson is allowing her heart to rule ahead in the running of the prison?
Putting it mildly.
Yes. Allowing that sort of sentimentality to prevail can be dangerous. It could almost lead one into going bail for a known criminal and putting a substantial amount of money at risk. Miss Bennett?
But what about
Oh,
Irene?
she's screwed.
Maybe she'll get very rich and come into my restaurant someday. I'll be polite to her. I'll give her a good table, and I'll be married to a nice girl who hasn't been in jail.
And I shall take acting lessons.
Look, I have to go now. Helvetia restaurant, nice place, fresh on mothers. You come by one night, huh? Look, you're a nice lady. You want to stop worrying about girls from jail. Who can help them? Who cares?
Watch him be a completely famous actor now. And I just didn't know.
Let's go to the university.
You know, I almost had the feeling that you agreed with him.
You know, this was his
I'm
first
sorry it
role.
had
He
to
didn't
turn
know
out like
what you were
this.
doing.
And the department will follow
I know
your
he's been in hundreds of
I'm
TV
afraid so.
shows.
I'm sorry, but I believe it's for the good of the prison. I'm sure one day you'll see it that way too.
I didn't hear what he said. Sonny, we're talking.
Vera, would you mind coming to my office, please?
Not at all. How did it go?
Not well. Not well at all.
Oh, what a pity. What's the main problem?
Smith and Ferguson were each given 2 days in solitary.
2 days? They deserve at least a week each.
I can only tell you what went on.
Sorry.
So she won't get a
None of the
parole now.
prisoner's complaints were acted upon, but he did find fault, grave fault, with the level of control I exercise over the prisoners and with my capabilities as a disciplinarian.
Well, I hate to tell you, but I told you so.
He has recommended some changes which materially affect you, Vera. I suppose I shall be the one to tell you.
It'd be the fair thing.
We are going to alter the system along the Fairley lines.
fairly.
Oh.
Yes.
What's a fairy lines?
We are going to increase the number of male officers and
Oh,
staff.
gender equality.
And I'm afraid I'm going to have a male deputy governor. But I thought,
Ooh.
Vera, you will still be a senior officer.
Demoted. Well, it didn't quite go to our plans. I'm glad we're getting diversity now. We're getting new prison officers. But they're going to be background officers, like the others. I mean, I understand female officers are more important in a female prison. You know, strip searches, showers, stuff like that. Male officers can't do that. Shouldn't do that, should I say. But you may need some male officers just in case things do get really rough. I mean, look what happened to Bill. I mean, yeah, he weren't really an officer, but maybe a few male officers could have sorted that out. But could a male officer beat them in? I don't know. I'm just looking forward to getting more staff, and I hope they've got more lines and more front, if you know what I mean. I hated the fact Clara got shipped out. I was loving seeing her as top dog. Absolutely loving it. Cut down too soon. I mean, she looked out and everything, sign out. Yeah, I'd love to hear your opinions on Clara being top dog. I mean, it was a complete shock. I mean, at first I didn't realise she was top dog. And then it sort of just clicked when I realised that B were no longer top dog and Money were no longer top dog. And then Clara had all the respect. For her to be shipped out instantly, I didn't like that. I loved Clara as a character, I honestly did. I'd say she's one of my favourite temporary prisoners that we've had so far. I mean, when she first came into it, I thought a bit snobbish. She was going to look down her nose at people, and then she got sent in, and then the other lady came in who donated the telly, and she was even worse than Clara. I did think that was all going to go tits up for Erica though. I didn't think she was going to lose her job, but I did think she was going to be kind of suspended pending further inquiry or something like that, and Vera got the role. As I say, I would have liked to have seen that, by the way. As I say, I am really, really glad we're getting some male screws, so to say. Hope they don't do any screws. But yes, I'm really glad to see some male screws coming in. Well, hear of them. Like I said, I'm hoping then that the forefront, like Meg, Vera, and at the back, like no-named officers that you just see once and that's it. Only time will tell. Are they going to be in the next episode? I don't know. You'll get this on whatever day's next, and I'm going straight into it, so I'll find out. But yes, I enjoyed it. As a whole, it was good. It had the drama, not the fights or stuff like that, but it had the drama. I am very, very glad, I nearly said the word, that Money's not using that word anymore. I mean, if you noticed, in the previous episode, I had to cut one of my words out. I had to censor myself, because I said something about that young girl. I can't remember saying it, it just slipped out. And that happens to me with my mental health issues. So it's not, what's the word? I forgot the word where you say things that just come out, or you have nervous twitches or stuff like that. I forgot the word, I honestly have. Yes, with my mental health issues, sometimes words just fall out before they've even entered my head. I actually said something that could have been offensive. I had to censor myself. That was when B was out, escaped, and it was that young girl. I think it was the first scene. Well, not the looking over the wall scene, but the first scene. But yes, I am enjoying this. It is episode 40 next. We're getting, what, we're 1/20th of the way through, maybe? 1/20th, or thereabouts. But if you enjoyed it and you haven't subscribed yet, could I please ask for a subscribe? It would really help me out. Or a follow on Dailymotion, because Australians can only see this on Dailymotion. I'm trying my hardest to keep up with stuff there. But the 15GB limit keeps making me fall behind, so please have patience with me on Dailymotion, I do beg of you. Something has gone down on Dailymotion, I don't know what it is. I can't find it. And when they send you the email, they'll just give you the video link. You click on the video link, and it takes you to a video that says has been removed, no titles on anything. So if you find that, please let me know so I can put a link up for somebody, for you all, should I say. But if you have subscribed or followed to me so far, thank you ever so much. I really do appreciate it. You're helping me out, you're helping the channel out, you're helping my mental health out. You honestly are. And to my Patreon members, you do get exclusive shows, which I'll put up in a box here. I'm doing the box symbol. You won't be able to see because the box will be up on the screen. It should be 8 per month right now, but that is going to 12 per month later this year. I'm also thinking of doing a long running day like Fridays are for YouTube. Murder She Wrote will be there, and I'll put the bigger episodes there as well. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll just wait and see how that goes. I mean, I need more Patreon shows if I'm honest with you. So it might be Dallas, Murder She Wrote, a comedy, and a horror. That's what I might do. But I've got no idea what. But yes, they also get ad-free and uncensored shows as well. So there'll be no bleeps, no blurs, completely uncensored on Patreon, because it is you that is bringing the content to me that allows me to bring the content straight back to you. Thank you all ever so much. I love you lots no matter what tier you are. So with that, I shall sign out now. I nearly said with that, let's get on with the video. With that, I'll sign out now, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.